I watched a company waste $2 million because they did not understand the difference between demand creation and demand capture. They had a good product, they have an amazing team and plenty of budget, but they were running demand creation campaigns in a demand capture market, and it killed their efficiency. Having been in the marketing space for more than 22 years, I can tell you that this is one of the most expensive mistakes in marketing. And most organizations confuse these two strategies. They dump budget into awareness when people are ready to buy right now. Or they focus only on bottom funnel when no one knows the category even exists. Now, I talked about this in one of my previous videos, but in this video, I'm going to break it down in detail. I'll break down the difference and help you understand how to know which strategy your market actually needs. Because getting this wrong is going to cost you millions of dollars. I believe there are two fundamental approaches to marketing: demand capture and demand creation. And they require completely different strategies, different channels, different timelines, and different expectations. Most marketers learn one or the other, and they apply it to every situation the same way. But the strategy you choose should depend on where your market actually is. It should not depend on your wish or what worked in your last company. It should be where this market is right now. So let me break down what each strategy actually means. Demand capture is when people already know they have a problem. They are aware that it's solvable and they're actively looking for solutions. Your job is to be there when they search. Think about it like this. Let's say someone's laptop breaks and they know they need a new one. They might Google the best laptop for video editing, and they might read reviews, they compare options, they're ready to buy. That's demand capture. The demand already exists, you're just capturing it. And for this, you might use Google's ads, SEO, review sites, comparison pages, and product-focused content. This is all demand capture. These channels have certain things in common. First, they have high intent traffic because these people are ready to buy. The sales cycle is generally shorter, days to weeks, not months. The cost per conversion is lower because these people are already convinced they need a solution. And it's easier to measure the ROI because of direct attribution. But there is limited market size. If your market is actively searching for solutions, demand capture should be your strategy. Your focus should be on being found, being compared favorably, and converting efficiently. Demand creation is different. People do not know they have a problem yet. Or maybe they know, but they don't think it's going to be able to solve those problems. Or they think it's solvable, but it's not a priority for them right now. Your job is to make them aware, create an urgency, and build the market. I gave this example earlier as well. Back in 2013, most companies were not searching for team chat software. They used email and it worked fine. They did not know there was a better way. And Slack came in this market but did not capture the demand. They created it. And they showed people, here is a problem you did not know you had, and here is why it matters. That's demand creation. If you're thinking of creating demand, you would be better with channels such as content marketing, social media, thought leadership, brand campaigns, earned media and PR, and even community building. These channels have some common traits. They have lower intent traffic. These people are learning, not buying. The sales cycle might be a bit longer. It could be higher cost per conversion initially because you're educating before selling. It's also a little bit harder to measure the ROI because the attribution could be fuzzy here, but it has a larger potential market. Everyone with the problem, not just those searching. If your market does not know this problem is solvable or does not prioritize it, demand creation is your strategy. You focus on education, awareness, and category building. And you need patience. This does not work in 10 to 30 days. Let me tell you about the company I mentioned at the start. This was a B2B SaaS company, Series B, about $15 million in funding. They had a product that automated a specific workflow in finance departments. They had a good product and real ROI for customers. They hired a VP of marketing who came from a high-growth consumer company. She was excellent at demand creation, brand building, thought leadership, and even content marketing. And she built a massive content machine. They were publishing 3 to 4 blog posts per week. They were active on LinkedIn. They even launched a podcast and ran brand awareness campaigns on LinkedIn and Twitter. They were spending about $150,000 per month on content and paid social for awareness. 6 months in, and they generated tons of traffic. It was great engagement on content, and they had a growing social following. But the pipeline was thin, almost no SQLs, and the CEO was frustrated. They were spending $150,000 a month and had just 12 SQLs to show for it. When I audited their marketing, this is what I found. Their market was already searching for solutions. Finance teams knew this workflow was painful. They knew automation was possible, and they were Googling workflow automation for finance and similar terms. This was a demand capture market, but they were running a demand creation strategy. It amuses me that so many marketers think brand awareness is always the answer. Sometimes people are ready to buy right now, and you're making them read blog posts. So this is what we did. We cut the content budget by around 70% and reallocated the budget to Google Ads for high intent keywords. We started using SEO for bottom funnel terms and also used G2 and capture optimization. We started doing comparison landing pages. And within 60 days, the SQLs went from 12 to almost 90 every month. And we had a significant drop in CAC. And even the sales cycle shortened from 4 months to 6 weeks. Same product, same team, but an entirely different strategy. What about that $2 million? That's what they spent in the first year on the wrong strategy. And they got it back in 18 months with the right one. So how do you know which strategy your market needs? Let me give you a framework for this. The first question you need to ask yourself is, are people actively searching for solutions? Go to Google, type in the keywords related to your solution. Are people searching for these? If yes, with decent volume, there's a demand capture market. If no or very low volume, then this is a demand creation market. When you talk to prospects, are they already evaluating solutions? Pay attention to how the conversation starts. Let me give you some demand capture signals. We are looking at a few options. We are comparing company A to company B. We need to implement something by XYZ date. They ask specific product questions. Demand creation signals sounds like this. Tell me more about what you do. Interesting, I hadn't thought about this. We are not actively looking, but always open to learning. And they ask general educational questions. The third question I ask is, how long is your sales cycle? For short cycles, maybe days to week, this is usually demand capture. People are ready to buy, they are just choosing between options. And longer sales cycle, maybe months to years, this is usually demand creation because people need education, internal alignment, budget approval, and timing. What's your win rate when competing directly against alternatives? A high win rate of 30% and more when you are in a bake-off, that's a demand capture market. Because the demand exists, you just need to win the comparison. If you have a low win rate or deals stall often, this might be demand creation. They are not ready to buy yet. They are still learning. Here is the simpler version of all this. If people are searching on Google for your category, it's demand capture. If they are not, it's demand creation. If you're still unsure, talk to maybe 10 to 20 prospects and listen for the signals I just mentioned. Once you know your strategy, this is how you prioritize. If it is demand capture, start focusing on Google Ads, SEO, review sites, CRO or conversion rate optimization, and fast follow-up. Don't waste your budget on brand awareness campaigns or top-of-the-funnel content that does not capture search demand. And don't waste your budget on long nurture sequences. You should see the result in 30 to 90 days and start measuring metrics like your CAC, your conversion rate, and win rate in competitive deals. But if you're focusing on demand creation, think about educational content, thought leadership content, social media presence, long-term brand building. community building, and even word of mouth. Don't expect fast ROI. This takes 6 to 18 months to work. Also, don't expect high conversion rates from traffic. Most people are not ready to buy yet. And of course, you're not going to have shorter sales cycle. Education takes time. This is going to take 6 to 18 months to see meaningful pipeline impact. Your metrics should be awareness, engagement, and influenced pipeline, not direct attribution. The mistake is not if you choose the wrong strategy. The problem is if you're applying the strategy from your last company without checking if this market is the same. Here's what I want you to remember. Demand capture and demand creation are fundamentally different strategies. And not that one is better than the other. They are just for different market conditions. If your market is actively searching for solutions, run demand capture. Focus on being found, being compared favorably, and converting efficiently. But if your market does not know the problem is solvable, run demand creation. Focus on education, awareness, and building the category, and be patient with this approach. But please do not confuse the two. Don't run brand awareness campaigns when people are searching on Google for solutions right now. And don't run bottom funnel ads when no one knows your category exists. That's the $2 million mistake I talked about. Know where your market is, then match your strategy to that reality. And this is an intent issue. It has nothing to do with execution. If you want to figure out which strategy your market needs, I have built a framework. It's called the Intent Alignment Framework. It includes a decision tree that helps you diagnose whether you are in a capture market or your demand creation market. I'll drop the link in the description and it's free. Have a beautiful day.